Imagine this. A cold December morning with frost clinging to car windows and a light drizzle creating ripples in the puddles on the sidewalk. A small family-owned cafe, Mocha Haven, bustled with activity. Its warm golden glow spilled onto the street, drawing people in like moths to a flame. Inside, customers chatted over steaming cups of coffee, pastries lined the glass display, and the cheerful hum of a busy morning filled the air. But no one noticed the man sitting outside the cafe. His hair was scruffy, his face hidden under a tattered hoodie, and his clothes seemed like they hadn't seen a washing machine in years. He sat there quietly, holding a cardboard sign that simply read, "Hungry. Need help." The cafe owner, Maria, glanced out the window. She was in her late 40s, with kind eyes and an apron dusted with flour. She frowned. "That poor man," she murmured, her heart tugging at the sight. But then, as she reached for a coffee cup, her daughter Sophie, a spirited 17-year-old, stepped in. "Mom, we can't keep giving out free stuff. We're barely making ends meet ourselves," Sophie whispered sharply. Maria sighed. "Sometimes kindness comes back to you in ways you don't expect." Meanwhile, a barista named Jake, a quirky college student known for his goofy humor, had been watching the man outside. "What if he's like secretly a millionaire doing one of those social experiments?" Jake joked, laughing to himself. "Yeah, right." Sophie rolled her eyes. "If he's a millionaire, I'm a unicorn." The man outside finally stood and shuffled into the cafe, his movements slow and deliberate. Heads turned. The usual hum of chatter quieted as the man approached the counter. "Excuse me," he said softly, his voice raspy. "Could I have something to eat? I don't have money, but I'm really hungry." Sophie hesitated, glancing nervously at her mother. Maria, without missing a beat, smiled gently. "Of course. A sandwich and a coffee, maybe?" The man nodded, his eyes glistening with gratitude. "Thank you. Thank you so much." Sophie frowned. "Mom, we can't just keep doing this. We're not a charity." But Maria shot her daughter a look. "Sophie, sometimes people need more than food. They need kindness." The man, overhearing their exchange, looked at Sophie. "You know," he said with a faint smile, "kindness doesn't cost much. But it's worth everything." As the man sat down with his food, the cafe buzzed with whispers. Customers speculated about him. Was he dangerous? Was he lying? Jake, the barista, kept sneaking glances at him, amused by his earlier millionaire comment. But then something odd happened. A sleek black car, one that looked far too expensive for this neighborhood, parked outside. A man in a suit stepped out, glanced around, and entered the cafe. The suited man walked straight to the scruffy man's table, leaned down, and whispered, "Sir, are you ready to go?" The cafe fell silent. Every eye was on them. The homeless man sighed, wiped his mouth with a napkin, and stood. "Almost," he replied. He pulled off his hoodie, revealing a surprisingly clean, sharp face. Then, to everyone's shock, he peeled away what seemed to be makeup or prosthetics. There he stood, Elon Musk. Jake gasped so loudly he nearly dropped a tray of mugs. Sophie's jaw hit the floor. And Maria? She just stared, blinking in disbelief. "I knew it," Jake shouted. "I knew it was a social experiment." Elon chuckled. "You've got sharp instincts, kid." Elon turned to Maria, his expression serious. "I've been testing cafes all over the city to see how they treat people who seem to have nothing. You didn't just pass, you went above and beyond. You gave kindness without expecting anything in return." Maria stammered, I didn't know who you were. I just wanted to help." "And that's exactly why I'm here," Elon said, smiling. "Your cafe, Mocha Haven, will be getting a significant investment from me. Enough to expand, renovate, and ensure your kindness can keep reaching more people. The cafe erupted in cheers. Sophie, who had been skeptical, felt tears prick her eyes. She turned to her mom, whispering, "You were right. Kindness does come back." Elon walked to Jake, giving him a playful nudge. "And you, Mr. Barista, maybe you're the unicorn after all." The room filled with laughter. As Elon was about to leave, he paused by the door and looked back. "Oh, and one more thing," he said, pulling out a sleek envelope from his pocket. "This is for you, Maria." Inside was a check. Not just for the cafe, but enough to cover her family's debts, Sophie's college tuition, and more. Maria's hands trembled as tears streamed down her face. "Thank you," she whispered. Elon smiled warmly. "No, thank you, for proving that humanity still has a heart." With that, he left, the black car whisking him away into the drizzle, leaving the little cafe glowing brighter than ever. Music swells as the scene fades to black, with the sound of cafe laughter lingering. Sometimes a simple act of kindness can change everything. Share this story with someone who might need a little inspiration today.